Today we're here with Jimmy Sains of Matchroom Boxing, with Tony Sims and Eddie Earn. Jimmy, or known as the Brentwood Artur Beterbiev, 9-0, 9 knockouts. How are you, Jim?
Yeah, I'm all good. Thanks for having me on. Cheers, boys.
Just a quick one, where we always start. How did it start? How did you get into boxing?
Well, I was always a bit of an aggressive kid. I don't know why, really, but I just was. I love any sort of like fighting or just like aggression. Do you know what I mean? I was always not really like getting told off at school, but I was always like
Fighting.
Yeah, it was always.
Is this like primary school, like young
primary
age?
school? Yeah. So first time I went to a boxing gym, I was 5.
Where was that?
Yeah, I was young. That was the Origin gym in Raynham. It's not really a boxing gym, but they had a ring up there. It's more of a weightlifting gym.
Is that where
Mark Tibbs? Yeah, Mark Tibbs is there now. He's got a proper gym. Raynham Boxing Club's there now.
I know.
I started there. I can remember my first session as well. First session, I remember going, looking in the mirror, like they said, like warm up. Went to the mirror and I went like that, threw 2 shots at the same time, both arms. The coach pulled me. I was like, no. And yeah, that's what I learned. I sort of went down there a few times a week for about a year or so, and then I first went to a proper boxing club, Brentwood Boxing Club, when I was 6. So started from there. I was there for a long time, and then ended up at the famous Repton.
How old were you when you went there?
I think around 15, yeah, just after the junior ABAs. So I think that's about 14, 15, yeah.
Who's your coaches down there?
Bobby Beck,
Yeah,
Lenny, Bobby Beck Jr.
Gary Cook was senior, wasn't he?
Gary Cook was a senior, yeah. He trained me when I got older, when I was on the seniors. Kelvin Wing.
Yeah, I remember him.
Kelvin Wing senior as well. Stevie Waters. I mean, there was some great coaches. When I first went there, it was Bobby Beck, and then he was
was Old Man Burns down there still?
Yeah. He was there. He used to pop in. Bobby Beck was like hardcore. He was like taking each other out in sparring. Like he was like the sparring I had there for about a year was so much harder than any fights I had. I think.
Yeah.
Is that where it got serious for you then at Repton? Would you say that's where?
Yeah.
That's in boxing terms. Your Reptons or your West Hams or whatever. That's like
pedigree.
That's like if you were playing football, that's like a proper academy. Do you know what I mean? That's like you're going to Arsenal.
They've got good
Chelsea.
alumni, aren't they?
Yeah.
Coming out of there. So that's where you was like, this is what I'm gonna do.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, before I went there, I got to 2 national finals and one national final. So I was like not really like top like England level, but I was like there and thereabouts. So I got to a couple semi-finals of the nationals. So if I wanted to push on to that top elite level, I needed to go that step. Yeah, so I took that step down at Repton, and it's the best thing I've ever done.
It's the sparring that you'll get all the time though as well.
Yeah. The sparring was like, I was sparring unbelievable, like European champions, European bronze medalists. You know what I mean? I weren't just sparring like English champions. I was sparring world level fighters for my age, obviously. So it was unbelievable. I was like I said, the sparring I had there was so much easier when I was getting in the ring and fighting.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's when I started to really like progress in the boxing.
What so your amateur record? How many bouts did you have?
I think I had 80 fights, lost 16.
Which people who don't know boxing, they'll go lost 16. In the amateurs, you'll have a lot of decisions on away shows or whatever. And how many of that was senior and how many was junior?
Junior, I would say probably about 60, 55, 60, and then 20, 25 senior. Yeah, so I was senior probably, as soon as I turned senior, COVID hit. So I had about 2-3 years out just in the gym. That's where I actually first got with Tony Sims when it was during COVID. So training with him alongside Steve Waters down the Repton. So that's when went into senior ABAs 3 times, got to the finals twice, and then won the Tri-Nations. But I mean, I had a lot of fights for Brentwood, Newham, and then mainly Repton.
Yeah, so you was at a few clubs.
Yeah.
And you ended up on a GB set up?
Yeah, I was on the development squad of the GB. Sort of bad timing for me, really, because as soon as I got to that GB, where I was training up there quite a bit, they changed the weights. So I boxed at 75 kilo, and they changed it from 71 kg to 80 kg. So they took my weight out, and it was a big jump. GB they done all the testing. They said that I could just make 71 kg, but I made 75 okay, but
how old are you at this point?
I was 21. So I mean, I was still growing, probably still feeling out, and it would be too much to do 71. I mean, especially if you want to do it 3-4 times in a week. Do you know what I mean? Like the tournament stuff. Yeah.
How do you, like people that don't know, how do you get into that GB setup? Is that just by doing well at amateur?
Doing well in the nationals. So the nationals, they'll from the quarterfinal stages, they'll have
picking boys.
Yeah, they'll pick boys out. They'll have England coaches there, like scouting basically, watching all the championships. And obviously, if you get in the finals, you automatically go up to like do the GB boxing, like on their program sort of thing.
And what boys? So when you've gone up to GB, what boys was on the squads like round your weight?
Round my weight, Ramtin Musa, Lewis Richardson. I think Mark Dickinson was there.
Yeah, he's a good fighter.
Yeah, he was a good fighter. Aaron Bowen.
Yeah.
So all good top boys. So I mean, it was competitive, and a lot of them boys went up to 80 kg, and then Lewis actually went down to 71s, and he got the bronze at Olympics. So it was about making that decision. But I would love to go to the Olympics. Sort of missed that cycle from 2024. So
that's what I went to ask you, because like I remember speaking to your dad, and he was saying you didn't want to go pro until you got a chance to go and do that. But then, obviously, as you're saying, was it timing that made you go and turn pro rather than holding out and waiting to go?
Yeah, I was. I mean, as an amateur boxer, the main goal is to get Olympic gold medal.
That's the dream. Yeah,
that's the dream from an amateur boxer. But obviously, world titles and going pro. But in the amateur basis, the main goal is to get Olympic gold medal, which I've always wanted to do. But just unfortunate at that time, I was getting to that GB level on that thing. They changed the weights.
What year is this as well?
This is probably 2022.
Yeah, so you're thinking as well, if I'm going to go to the Olympics, it's 2 years. This is what people don't get. It's 2 years.
Yeah.
But even if you're the number one fighter for GB, you're not guaranteed to go.
No,
you have to qualify.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So it's not like England or Great Britain go, right, we've got this middleweight. He's going to the Olympics. You have to go to tournaments and qualify still.
Right.
Yeah. And if you don't qualify the first one, they send someone else. They could send someone else.
There's like 4 tournaments in there.
Yeah.
You've got 4 tournaments.
So you could be number one. You can not qualify in the first one.
Yeah.
And then they'll go and send
someone else. If they qualify, that's it. You're not going.
Yeah, because I remember speaking to Gal, and he qualified in the last tournament. He went to, I think, the Worlds.
Right.
Got beaten his first fight.
Mate.
Then I think he didn't go to one tournament, got beaten in another tournament, and he had to get to the quarterfinals of the last tournament. I think it's the Europeans.
Yeah.
And he got there and obviously went to the Olympics, but he said it quite easily couldn't have gone.
Yeah, I know, imagine. And he won the Olympics.
Yeah, he won gold.
So imagine missing out on that. Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
So 2022, you make that decision. Is that when you say, right, I'm going to turn over?
Yeah, I mean, I got to the Senior NBA final for the second time, lost out on a close fight, and then after that, a few weeks after, I won the Tri-Nations for England, and got 2 stoppages in 2 days, and that was like when sort of like got my man strength. So not got my man strength because I don't feel like you get your man strength.
Coming,
my power was coming, my timing was coming. I thought my boxing was coming together. I was working with Tony Sims, I think for about 3 years at this point. So I was sort of like turning into that pro style. So he said as well, I mean, do this tournament, see how we get on, and then we'll take you into Eddie's office, and then see we turn pro. So I feel like them 3 years that I've done with Tony Sims and Stevie Waters down at Repton that was my pro apprenticeship. So I was definitely ready at that point. Yeah,
that's good. So that's how it come about with Matchroom then.
Yeah, come about with Matchroom. Yeah, I mean, my dad does know Eddie from back in the day, going out getting on the piss. But Tony's got a great relationship with Eddie. I mean, all of his fighters he puts to Eddie first.
Yeah, was it only Matchroom that you spoke with?
Yeah, that was the only person I spoke with. Yeah, I mean, Eddie's like, he's from Brentwood. I'm from Brentwood, so I would like to go with him. But he offered me a good deal, and I took it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So talk to us about what it's like training in that Sims gym. Like, what's the stable like? What like are you training against, like sparring against all these other boys that are in there, or is it how does it work?
We have a good laugh in the gym, but it's competitive. Do you know what I mean? We all want to try and push each other as much as we can. Do you know what I mean? If you're winning the runs, you're winning the triangles, you're a bit of a face for the day.
You're the
man,
yeah.
You're the man for the day. No one can say nothing in the gym. Do you know what I mean?
But there's some good names in that gym.
There is, yeah. I mean, at the moment we've got Tony Sims training with John Ryder. He's retired from boxing, but he's took up coaching. We've got me, George Leonard, Craig Richards is back in the gym. We've got
Richards is back, is he? Yeah.
We've got,
is he with Peter or with Tony?
He's with Tony and John at the moment. Yeah.
You and George fight on similar cards as well, didn't you? Are you similar age?
Yeah, I think George is a year or 2 years younger than me.
Right, okay.
Yeah, but we've been fighting on the same cards. Yeah. I think it's just sort of timed. I mean, you know what it's like. You have like, sort of after you had your fight, you have a little bit of time off, and then you get back in the gym for the next fight. And we've just sort of
on a similar sort of cycle. Yeah,
similar sort of cycle. Yeah.
You'll end up. Yeah, we've had that few of our boys. You'll end up at this stage of your career when you're in like 6 rounders, 8 rounders. You'll be on the same bill all the time.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Until you like. When you start topping your own bills and stuff.
That's it, yeah. You have a bit more break in between, didn't you? Yeah.
Is that good though, like, for you, for like, not sound weird, but like a consistency thing to have, to know that he's on there, and like, you might have like a thing where you're talking to him sort of before, like, you can talk to each other about preparation. I know it might be different.
Yeah.
But
no, you're right, yeah, he's good. I mean, we're doing the camp together, we're all doing the same runs together at the same time, sparring the same amount of rounds. I mean, we do get sparring in, but if we ever struggle with sparring, we've got it in-house. We've got it there, yeah. I mean, good sparring as well. So, it's good to do the camp
Ben's together. In there as well, isn't he?
Yeah, Conor Ben's in there, yeah.
So that must be, like, seeing someone like that and sort of watching them train as well. Like, it must push you on that extra couple %.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a tough 2 years, really. I mean, everything's gone on with Eubank. And then seeing him train just as hard as we are, do you know what I mean? He's, like, good motivation. I mean... I don't want to be up his arse, but he's trained fucking hard for these 2 years, even though he don't even know whether he's got a license, he's got a date or nothing. Do you know what I mean? So that makes shows that dedication at that level. Yeah.
When you get that date, that's when you can go right, boom, lock in.
Yeah. You know what it's like. I mean, you go in the gym and you ain't got a date. It's hard to train, isn't it?
It's like maintenance training.
Yeah.
But you fall out of love with it then as well, didn't you? Because you're doing it for the sake of it.
Yeah.
But I suppose that's why it's good to have those people around you, because then it keeps you going. Because one could have a date. You might not.
Sometimes, yeah.
But then that might push you on.
Yeah. Just shows you've got to be on it all year round, yeah.
So what's a day in the life you like? So like, is it Monday to Friday you're training? Like what does
Monday
it look
to
like?
Saturday, twice a day. Saturday. So Monday, Wednesday, Fridays is sparring days. So I'd wake up, get to the gym between 10, 12, depends when, if we've got sparring coming in, different times.
Do you spar even when you ain't got a date?
I would, but not Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Do you know what I mean? I might do like one a week or tick over. Yeah. But I've been very active this last 2 years. So as soon as I've come out of camp and thought, I've had 2 weeks off and then gone straight back into camp. So I haven't really ticked over. But
You've been active, yeah.
Which is nice. I've been active, yeah. So I've sort of come out of camp, gone straight back into camp. But at the moment, I'm more sort of like ticking over, which is a bit of a weird feeling. Like, well, I haven't really done before, but I would spar probably once, twice a week, but I wouldn't like try and kill myself.
Might do 6 rounds.
Be working on stuff. Yeah.
Nice, good.
Yeah.
So where you're at now, your last fight was an 8 rounder.
Yeah.
What's the trajectory? I can't get my words out.
Yeah.
But what's the plan going forward? Have they said like by this time we want you to box for a title of some sort?
It takes one fight at a time, but. Spoke to Eddie after the last fight. Me and Tony sat him down, just like said, like, want titles really. I mean, I'm mandatory for the Southern Area title, so that's like sort of the next step.
It's vacant.
It's vacant at the moment. So if they can get me an opponent for that'd be perfect for the next one. If not, maybe even another 8 rounder. I've done 1 8 rounder. Maybe good to get some more rounds in before I'm getting them titles. Because the most I've done is 7 rounds, so it'd be good to get a 10 rounder in.
Is that the last one?
Yeah. It's the most
I've
done.
Start looking about then.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know, yeah.
That was good though. That last one.
No,
that
looked like from the last one.
The last one looked like a proper test.
Yeah,
like he tucked up well. He looked good, and he come at you as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, even though it was a 50-50 record, his record, but I looked at who he's lost to.
Depends who they've boxed.
Yeah, everyone who he boxed was at least top 10 in France, so he hasn't lost to like any nobody. You know what I mean? So it was good. He definitely come to win, and it was great.
You look like you had to utilise different skills to what you have in your other fights.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the fight before that.
Is that your call?
Your call. I mean, you was there, weren't you?
Yeah.
So as soon as I sort of let my hands go a bit, the fight was over.
Yeah.
So this fight, let my hands go a bit, and he was still standing there, fucking coming back at me. So Yeah, I know.
As you start going up the levels, that's what you'll find. You'll hit them, and rather than going over, they'll hit you back.
I know. Yeah.
Is that something you got to sort of learn though? When it was like before, you could let your hands go, and it was like that quick rush, that quick sort of like that quick blow of like, and then it's done. Whereas then you've got to let your hands go, and then you've probably got to recover for the next however long, and sort of like defensively shore up.
In this fight, it's given me so much stuff to work on. Like I've watched it back a few times, and I was just picking out little things defensively. I think more than anything that I've got to work on. Yeah,
but this stage of your career is almost like it's your apprenticeship.
Yeah,
this is where you learn. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so you fight different, you box different styles. Yeah. You'll learn different things about yourself for later on down the line.
I think that was a perfect opponent for that sort of stage of my career. Yeah,
that's what you need though, because obviously when you go up the level, say when you start boxing for a British title or whatever, you might box a southpaw, you might box an aggressive kid, you might box someone on the back foot. So this stage of your career is ideal to box all these different styles.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, get as many different styles as I can. Really.
It's also with your sparring though as well. Who's the best kid you sparred, Jim?
Best kid I've sparred. Well, I've sparred some world level fighters. I mean, John Ryder was great fight. I mean, Conor Ben.
Or out of Tony's
stable.
stable.
Out of our stable. I was trying to think. When we were training in LA, the match with Jim over in LA, Churchill's. I mean, there's some good fighters we sparred over there. I mean, like people you wouldn't even have heard of, like some Mexicans, Cubans.
The Cubans are good, isn't they?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, mate, it's unbelievable. Took a few Indians over there in LA, but yeah, that's probably the toughest sparring camp I've had. I mean, I was over there for 5 weeks, so that 4 weeks I had of training and sparring, that was put me in good stead for coming up after that. I mean, only my third fight as well, so it was good experience over there.
So your debut, let's take you back to the start of your professional journey.
Yeah.
Your debut was what, back end 23?
September 23. Yeah.
What card was that on?
That was on Jordan Thompson and Jai Patel.
He's good off the tire, isn't he?
I know, yeah.
So your debut, how did you find that changeover from amateurs to pros?
Do you know what? I think that was actually the biggest crowd I've boxed in front of, I think, on my debut.
You had a lot there as well.
I had a lot there. I think I sold over 500 tickets for that.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And they put me in a good slot in the card as well. I think, was it 1 or 2 before the main event?
I think it was 2 before the main event.
It was definitely packed out, yeah.
Because George was on early, wasn't he? That one. Yeah, he was on one before you, so I think it was you, and then it was a couple of others. But I remember, like, just for, like, walking in there, like, bearing in mind, like, we've got there, met everyone outside, and, like, we was in the pub outside. Was it Wembley Arena, wasn't it?
Yeah, Wembley Arena, yeah.
Mate, mobbed. Just mobbed with people for you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And, like, a big debut, and, like, what was it like to have everyone there? Like,
pressure, though, innit?
Yeah.
But in there, everyone's singing Sainsy, like, walking in the Sainsy Wonderland. That's all you heard for about half an hour before you weren't even fighting.
When I come out, I sort of got not a shock, but I was like, sort of hit me, like, fuck, this is it, I'm here now. Because as soon as I come out, I didn't realise, like, everyone's going to be looking at me fucking with their phones out. Do you know what I mean? I think I'll come out, I'll hear people cheering. I think, fuck it. I was like, I've seen, there was probably at least 50 people I knew who was like, they just know where you're seeing when they come to the the barrier. They're literally there, do you know what I mean, in front of my face. So it was, it was a bit of a weird feeling when I come out, but it was just like more excited. It weren't really nerves.
Do you remember it? Or was you just completely like one of them where
you're in a bubble?
Yeah, you're just like it's like you have to watch it back to even sort of start
out
to
of
piece
all my
things
fights
together.
I've had, that's the one I can remember. I can tell you step by step what happened as I'm going into ring. The fight is a little bit of a blur, but I can remember it a lot more than all my other fights. Yeah,
that was a good fight.
Yeah, that's
I remember that.
Yeah,
it was good, and it's probably nice as well that, like, again, talking to your old man, he was like, it's nice that you always know where he is. Do you look for him before a fight? Like, is it like a thing where you know he's there?
You hear certain voices.
Yeah.
I do when the bell goes, I don't hear anything. I don't really hear anyone. Like,
do you have certain voices that you hear or not?
Yeah, I mean, when I come out, like, my dad and my girlfriend are always there, so I always like look at them. I always sort of look out for them, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, just so I know where they are. Look out the ring, but don't really hear certain voices. Sort of as soon as that first bell goes, it's sort of like a blur. Everything else, we're so
it's
concentrated.
Down to like muscle memory.
Then you're in the zone.
Yeah, you're in the zone. Yeah.
A weird question. Do you have any like rituals before you go out, like in the locker room, in the change room?
I used to have loads when I was an amateur.
What were they?
Just like when I was an amateur, I think a lot of boys do this. So when I started nationals, whatever I wore, so if I wore the same socks and same pants, for every fight for that nationals, I wear the same socks and the same pants.
Sometimes you're boxing 3 times in a weekend.
They used to stink. No one would come near me, but and then I used to keep the socks and pants after. So I say
some
like
people
one
have weird rituals.
Yeah.
Or like putting your left boot on first and things like that.
I mean, if I boxed in one pair of boots in the nationals, that was it. I had to wear them for the rest. So just little things. But now as I've got a little bit older and I've realised that don't actually work because I've lost or I've won, I've boxed really well.
It's just in your nut. But if it works in your head, it works.
Yeah, it works. Yeah. It works. And now I'm like on a bit of a KO streak. I'm thinking, what's working in a minute? I don't want to change anything. Do you know what I mean? I'm thinking of new short ideas. And I'm thinking I want to just keep it the same.
Have you boxed in the same shorts?
I haven't boxed in the same shorts, but it's always been like Repton colour themes.
Yeah.
I noticed that. We got one of your t-shirts over there. We'll
green
get it
and
out
gold.
a bit.
Green and
Black,
gold.
the green and gold.
Now I feel like if I change it up, but they're just things you got to put in the back of your head. Do you know what I mean? Because when you get in the ring, it don't matter what you got on.
It doesn't affect it.
No, it doesn't affect it at all. Yeah. It doesn't matter what you look like.
I know you said it earlier. I know you said you was excited, but like that run up into like day before, the day of, and you got to wait until the evening. Firstly, what's your preparation like?
Well, on the fight.
Like day before, and then on the day of the fight, and then like the nerves kick in, or is it just like adrenaline and this?
Well, day before, obviously in the pros you weigh in day before, so it's all, and the night before that, right, proper touch, yeah. So it's all about
pressers
making the weight.
And things like that.
Yeah, the pressers. I don't mind doing the pressers, but it's just
it's a big change, though, isn't it?
It is a big change. From you don't really have no training or nothing. They just stick you right in, and you've got
a camera in your face.
You've got about 40 cameras in your face, and you've got to speak. Yeah, and then the first press conference I had, we all sat down, and then as soon as we sat down, I think, fuck, there's a lot of cameras. And then straight away, Eddie goes, right, we're gonna start with Jimmy Sains. And I think, oh fuck.
How you doing, Jim?
Yeah, hello, yeah,
good.
I'm right. They just sort of chuck you in the deep end, and you just gotta. But I just think a lot of people try and sell the fights and that, but I'm not really at that level yet. So
that's as you
go on. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Or if you're on pay-per-view events,
thinking
you want to get the sales in.
Think about the money, and
do the chisora and pick the table up and launch it across the room.
I know, yeah. That's all to come. But at the moment, I just try and be myself. Do you know what I mean? But like you said, leading up towards the fight, I do get a bit. When I get nervous is when I get ready to go to the arena. I'm like, checking if my bag's packed. I've got my gum shields, I've got my boots, everything. It's sort of like real then. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm going to go and have a fight, and then when I get there, sort of a bit of nerves, similar thing. Like I'm here at the changing room. But then as soon as I start warming up, I sort of get in like that rhythm, that flow.
Once the bell goes, boom.
Yeah, once the bell goes, that's it. Yeah, all the nerves are gone. Yeah.
So what's the preparation when you're there? Like how, like I know you do pads, but like you're getting your wraps done and everything. Like
so when you get
when
there.
When do you eat? Like things like that.
Well, I eat
about 4 hours.
Yeah. Try and time it so you sort of know a rough time when you're gonna be on. They give you a rough time. Probably try and have a big meal about 4 hours before, and then have something small going towards the venue, like small. I usually have a small pot of porridge, and just a bit of fruit, just like grazing on, probably about 2 hours before the actual fight, and then get in the changing room, do a bit of stretching. S&C coach Rick McFarlane, do a bit of like.
Do you like to go in and look at the venue?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I go in. Yes, sorry. As soon as I get there, I have a little look around.
Yeah, my dad does.
Just get a bit of a
do that.
Bit of a feel at the venue.
Do you visualise?
Do you know what I mean?
No, so my dad would always do it. When you get to the venue, put your stuff in the change rooms, and he'll say to all his fighters, go and have a look. Or sometimes, if we can go there in the day, we'll actually go there in the day.
Have a look in the ring. But like when you're in the ring,
just so it's a bit like familiar.
But when you're in the ring, do you do any like visualization? Because I've heard like some boxers say they do, and they picture like I know it's hard because you don't know how the fight's going to go, but I suppose it's the same for any sports when you don't know what's going to happen. But like a visualization of like what you want to happen or anything like that.
I try and visualise just
getting your hand raised,
first seconds. I mean, I ain't got to do anything else, but
don't get paid for
not
overtime.
Really. Yeah, exactly. No, not really. I don't really try not to think about the fight too much. Do you know what I mean? Until I'm actually warming up, and then when I'm with Tony, he's like, right, he throws his right hand like this, So make sure you got that glove there or like certain things. You know what I mean?
Do you? So when it's Tom Dallas the matchmaker, innit? So when they give you an opponent, they go, right, Jim, you're boxing this kid. Do you watch him or not?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
you watch him yourself.
I let Tony like tell me he watches them. Obviously, he try and watch all his fights, but I will look him up and then do like try and see who they've fought. Like look at his box rec, see who he's fought, what weight he's fought at, and then I'll go on YouTube, look at a little bit of his fights. I won't watch the whole fight. I'll just watch a few rounds of a few of his different fights, just to see what he's like. Yeah,
just get a basis of him.
Yeah, get a basis. Yeah.
So you had your debut, Wembley Arena, and I can't remember, was it your third or fourth fight? Did you go to Vegas?
In Vegas, yeah, third fight.
How was that?
We touched it a little bit there in LA, but that was unbelievable. That was like
it's a good experience for that stage of your career.
Experience.
That was the Ben Dobson undercard, wasn't it?
That's it. Yeah. So we done, I think about 4.5 weeks in LA first.
Yeah.
And then we went to Vegas for a week, and then that was just surreal. Do you know what I mean?
Great place, isn't it?
Yeah, because I was there with Joe Cordina, and he was like, he's world champion, and he's going, how are you fighting in Vegas before me? Do you know what I mean? On my third fight, I'm doing a 4-rounder. I mean, I don't really know how I've ended up there, to be honest.
It's a great place.
Yeah, it's a great place. I mean, I've been fighting in Dagenham Roundhouse 2 years prior to that. Do you know what I mean? So to be fighting in Vegas, it's just unbelievable.
Was Fisher on that card?
Yeah, Johnny Fisher was on that card. There was Amo Williams.
Because he's not too dissimilar to, like, he sort of burst on the scene as well. So, like, it's quite probably good to have him in there as well.
Yeah,
like local boy as well.
Yeah, it was all like Essex boys, really.
Yeah. What's it like? Like, it was Cosmopolitan as well, wasn't it?
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, it was like sort of like your call, where it was like not a massive venue. I think it was only about 3,000-4,000, but might have been smaller. But it was a nice venue where you could see like good seating wherever you sat. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean that was one of my best performances. I think. I mean the opponent I had weren't that great, but you still got to get them out there.
Did you feel less pressure being away from home?
I felt a bit more pressure actually. Just
Did you?
When I was going to the venue, I mean.
What? Because they've given you that opportunity to fight
out Vegas. There. Yeah, and I actually boxed at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Did you?
Yeah, because they wanted to
have
have
English TV. Yeah,
for English TV because 7-hour time difference. So I was at 11. So I was actually I was at 6 o'clock here. So
yeah, I remember watching it.
Yeah. So yeah, that was. Do you know what? I think that was a lot better. Because when you spar, I wake up, have breakfast.
Your body's used
go
to
straight
that
to the gym. My body's used to that time. Yeah. So I woke up in the morning. I have a bit of a lay-in on the fight day. So I woke up about 9 o'clock. Quickly had some breakfast. Literally, quick shower, and I was straight there. You know what I mean? I was on a fight. Yeah. So I didn't really have time to like get nervous or sell it in. But yeah, when I woke up, I had a great. I'm walking. I had like a great look around the venue and everything, like the hotel before the actual fight. So it was like to be boxing there was just unbelievable. Yeah.
Did you stay in Vegas for a few days after?
Stayed in Vegas a few days after. Yeah, that was nice. Yeah, fucking picking out all the time.
Did you have good support out there as well?
It was just after Christmas. I had a few family members. My cousin Mark Sains, he come out there. His daughter.
Greatest
Darius.
pie and mash shop in Essex.
Yeah. There a few of them come out. Obviously, my mum, dad, and girlfriend. So I only had and a few of my mates as well, Brian and Jack Reese. So I had about 10 people.
Went out there.
I had about 10, 12 people. So I mean, yeah, it was alright. I mean, I only had about 4 weeks' notice for that fight.
Did you box abroad as an amateur as well?
Yeah, I boxed only like Germany and like Scotland.
But it's all part of that experience, though, isn't it? Being away from home because it's different food, different bed, all them things do make a difference.
No, they do make a difference. Yeah, I mean that was a good experience with England actually boxing in Germany.
It prepares you for that.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, some shitty hotel for a week. Obviously Vegas was a lot better. Yeah, it was unbelievable.
The Cosmopolitan's not too bad.
The room was a suite as well. It was unbelievable. Yeah, that does. I mean, being on GB and things like that, where you're going to all these different tournaments. I mean, people have heard stories being in Kazakhstan and it's like -20. Do you know what I mean? And then you've got to try and prepare for a fight. You've got to make weight and train out in different people. And these all the foods and that different. I remember being out of Germany, the food was terrible. But yeah, you've just got to get used to it and throw yourself in the deep end, I think.
Talking of the weight, so you're at middleweight. Do you make championship weight yet, or did I give you a couple of pounds?
I haven't. No, I've only boxed at 162.
How do you find What's your diet like? How long do you have to diet for, and how do you find making weight?
I'm making weight alright at the moment, middleweight, but I'm naturally like quite a chubby fat kid, really. So I do blow up a little bit out of camp, which I need to try and stick on it a bit. Do you know what I mean? But
just quickly before you go on to people that don't know, what's championship weight?
160.
160.
Which is
11.6.
11
11.6 middleweight is.
But I've been boxing at 11.8, which is just above it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Basically, when you get to like championship, like say he's in a title bout, that's when they'll say, right, you've got to make 160, but otherwise they might give you a couple of
bit of leniency.
Yeah, so I've been doing a couple pound over at the moment. I make it alright, to be honest. Tony's even talking about going the weight below, but
really,
yeah, I don't know.
He's done that with Cordina as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah,
because he was a lightweight and then went super feather.
Yeah, he did, yeah. But after I've made middleweight 160, we'll see. We'll go from there. But I feel like I've matured a little bit more since I've turned pro, filled out a little bit. So I see. I mean, 6 to 8 weeks out, I've got to be on my food. Do you know what I mean?
So what was that like then? Sorry, what was that like? You only got 4 weeks notice for this fight. So if you're
I was 4 weks notice to sell tickets.
Right.
But I sort of had an idea about 6 to 7 weeks before.
So you still in that point of where you knew that you had the right preparation time.
Yeah.
So go on, carry on. Sorry about your 8 weeks out. What's it then?
Yeah, so 8 weeks out, 6 to 8 weeks out. I mean, I've got to be like strict to my food. No fast food, no crisp chocolate, nothing like that. I mean, it's like
who cooks your food?
My girlfriend and my mum. Really, I'm a terrible cook. Yeah, terrible. Beans on toast is the most I can do. You know what I mean? And a toaster away, but I'm terrible at cooking. But
so when you're making weight, what's your diet like? Like what type of things would you be eating?
I try and have a lot of steak, eggs.
My dad used to have steak all the time.
I love steak. Yeah, I could live off that. I think I could do a carnivore diet, but yeah, a lot of steak, a lot of veg, fish. Just all like whole foods, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nothing like, I try not to eat out as much as I can, unless it's like somewhere for like chicken and rice, or if I go to a cafe, I just have eggs on toast, do you know what I mean? But I mean, from then I've got to be like watching it.
And then when you get to fight week, so that last little bit where you're cutting weight, what's your eating like? Yeah, that's
when like you've got to cut the water. So the weight's made really from then. You just got to get the water in your body. Which is like
everyone makes it differently though, doesn't they?
Yeah. So I sort of do the water with the water. So I'll have 6 litres every day leading up to it, and then on Monday I probably have about 3 litres. Tuesday 2 litres, and then the Wednesday and Thursday I probably just like for like half a litre or a bottle. So I'm getting the water out of me, and I cut all salt and sodium,
which holds the water,
out of my diet, which holds the water. So basically, when you get on the scales, you're basically empty. You've got no food, no water in you. So that's how you make the weight, So emptying out your body with the fluids, basically, pretty much.
And then when you get in the ring, would you like to get in at? So you weighed in at 162, or say 160 when you're at championship?
Yeah, weighing at 162. I usually go up to about 180. So I usually put on, by the time like, in the ring,
it's a stone and 4 pounds for people who wouldn't know.
Yeah, so it's quite a bit,
And Tony wants to get you to 154.
Yeah, Tony wants to get you to 154, but I know. I think I've been doing 162, 163 alright at the moment, but I mean the extra couple of pounds, we'll see. But
also, it's when you're developing still as well, isn't it? As you get older.
Exactly that. Yeah. I thought I was a bit of a late developer as well, so I'm only 24 now. I've sort of just got my man strength, got that power sort of thing. Yeah. Feel that into my body, whereas other people, I mean, you've probably seen it in boxers. There's boxers that are 18 and they're fully developed men.
Yeah, everyone is different.
Yeah.
I remember speaking to DeGaulle when he said about Groves, and he said when he was 15, he had like airy chest. He said he was like a man young. But then my dad used to train. I don't know if you remember Steve O'Meara. I don't know if you remember him. He could never knock anyone out. Like he was a lovely boxer, and he got to about, I think he was about 10-0. I think he had one stoppage win where he just stopped the fella whilst he was on his feet, and he was going to my dad, Jim, I don't know why I can't hurt these people. I can't put them away. He said, it will come, Steve. Sometimes when you're looking for it too much, all of a sudden he had, 3 fights. First round, third round, and he was sparking people. Sometimes people do develop later.
Yeah, definitely. I was like the later developer. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So your career now, what's your goals and ambitions? Obviously, everyone will say, I want to win a world title, I want to win this. But what's your plan going forward? Obviously, would you like the the traditional route of like British, Commonwealth,
definitely the traditional route of doing one fight at a time. But I'd love to get the southern area first. I mean, that's just a good stepping stone and a box to tick off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of great fighters have done it, and then obviously, like you said, the traditional route, going English, Commonwealth, British, European, working my way up to world level. I'd love to tick off all the boxes in between. Yeah, so that's definitely the goal. But ultimately, is to be undisputed world champion.
That's good.
Yeah.
And then sort of like...
And Saudi. Get a Saudi fight.
Yeah, Saudi, Turkey.
Hey, I tell you what, the money ain't bad, is it? But so just quickly going back to like your fight. So that's all pre-fight. What happens after? Like, so like all that emotion, like you got adrenaline, like what happens after the fight? So I know you do like a little lap, you go and see everyone. Yeah. But like from that point of when you leave the venue, what's the next? I know you go on holiday, like you just went away. Yeah. What's that looking like?
Well, it's just a bit of downtime.
Live like a normal person.
Yeah, live like normal. It is weird, to be honest. I mean, the Monday or after the fight, straight away, you can't sleep. I don't know why. It's just like
adrenaline.
The adrenaline's so high.
Footballers say that as well.
Yeah, you can't sleep. I don't know why. I'm up till about 3-4 in the morning. And then I just want to eat as much food as I can. What I've been thinking about all fight week. And then on the Monday, sort of like you're thrown out of routine. It just throws you off. Whereas...
Tony will say to you, have a week off, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Tony will say, have a week off.
I don't want to see you for a week.
Yeah, I don't want to see you for a week.
So you're not back in the gym for a week, no?
Usually, no. Yeah. I mean, I have also boxed... I think I boxed at the Brentwood Centre.
I was at that one.
That week apart.
And then I boxed a week apart. So a week straight after. So that was good. Because I was like, I boxed and I was on it with my food. And I was straight again. Because fight week's probably the best week. It's just like about staying sharp. There's no really hard training. I mean, as long as you're making the weight alright, you're not really pushing yourself or your body too hard. So I like fight week. But then after the fights, I try to have a little bit of downtime.
You need it. It's important, though.
Yeah, you do need it. Yeah, I mean, you can't stay at that top level, that top fitness too long. Otherwise, you end up getting injuries. So yeah, try and have a bit of a week off, get a little bit of sun if I can, and then just look for the next one. I mean, it feels like when you're in camp, you're like you can't wait for this to be over because it's like so hard. Yeah, you're making weight, you train all the time, you're tired, you've got little injuries. Your back's hurting, your feet are hurting, your hands are hurting.
You've only got to do it another 20-30 times, mate.
That's what I mean, yeah. But you think, I can't wait for this to be over. And then when you get out of camp, you're like...
It's the best thing, yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to get back in camp. So, it's
the mental though
weird
as well.
Cycle, isn't it? Yeah.
It's the mental pressure as well that you put yourself under.
Yeah, definitely.
But once you box, you think, that was great. Can't wait to do that again.
Yeah.
Do you have that? Like, I know sport has come such a long way in terms of, like, psychology and things like that. Do you have like a mental coach, sports psychologist or anything like that in the gym that talks you through? I don't know if it's like that in boxing because football's come such a long way. Yeah,
in boxing there's a few people that come on the scene. I think it's starting to get bigger.
It's changing.
It's different. Yeah, it's changing.
That's how sport shifted, isn't it?
It depends on the person though as well, really, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the way I look at it, I mean, I wouldn't be there training this many times a week and putting my body through this hard training camp all this time if I didn't want to go in there and win. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be doing the sacrifices if I didn't want to get in there and win. But everyone's different. They have different mindset. They like to talk to people as well. That's also, I feel like in boxing it's big. Because in boxing it's only you, so you keep everything in. I feel like if boxing...
And don't want to show weakness.
You don't want to show weakness, exactly, yeah. But a lot of people feel like if they talk to someone, it does feel better for them. But everyone's different.
You know, it's boxing... and obviously UFC, but it's the only sports where, say you interviewed a footballer, and they go, what do you think about this game? They never say, we're going to win, we're going to do this. They say, yeah, they're good. As a fighter, you have to have, no, I'm going to win.
Yeah, that self-belief.
Yeah, it's different. You're a different breed of person.
It's important, though. And I know you just said it, but you just mentioned the Brentwood, like fighting at the Brentwood Centre. That must be good for you as well, things like that, and like seeing like that's a home crowd, isn't it?
Yeah,
that was I was at that one, and it was literally just everyone there for you. Like George fought on that card as well, so there was like he gets quite a good turnout as well. Yeah, so it was like a good card that everyone was from that way. Like the Brentwood Centre genuinely run out of beer.
Brings you back down to earth as well because you go from Vegas to the Brentwood Centre.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but it was good to be boxing there. I mean, I've been there loads of times. As a kid watching the boxing, same as your call, I've been there loads of times watching the boxing. I was going to
say that, your call as
well.
Yeah,
I've been there loads of times. My dad, he's always like, when I'm young, he's like, I'll be you one day. Or like the coaches and that will say, I'll be you one day. And then to actually be doing it myself, it's a good feeling. Like it's it's good to be boxing. I think so local as well, because as an amateur, you know, I'm all over the place. I mean, Sheffield, Rotherham, and then it's like Manchester. You don't know where the nationals are going to be. I mean,
it changes every year.
So to be boxing so local for the first time in ages, it was good. I mean, that's why it's such a good turnout.
And you're cool. Like, you've probably fought there countless times as an amateur. So
There's
like,
no way that was my first time boxing.
Really?
Ever. Yeah.
I thought you would have fought there a lot more.
No, they did have.
Sometimes they do, and then sometimes there's been nationals there, and then it gets moved. You could be in Sunderland.
I think it got a bit expensive for the amateur clubs to be like hiring out all the time. So I didn't actually box there. I was meant to box there a couple of times for Repton, but the fight never happened. I mean, in the amateurs, it's a lot of people pull out on the day, not making the weight and things like that. But so for whatever reason, it fell through a couple of times as an amateur. But as a pro, that was the first time I ever boxed.
How was it?
Yeah, I did enjoy it. I mean, when you're in that ring, people will say everyone in the crowd like on top of you. Like, you don't realise until you're in the ring. The balcony is literally not far at all. And you look up and it's like they're there, right there on top of you.
The changing rooms ain't the best though, are they?
Changing rooms are freezing. Changing rooms are so cold.
Was
you
it
go
like
out to the rings.
PE?
Yeah,
PE
it's like freezing. Yeah, but
you got tiles missing out the floor, cracks in the windows.
I know.
But that's like heritage, though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like that is boxing heritage, isn't it?
Mate, if you go through York Hall, the people that's boxed there, from Hatton, Kawasaki, David A. Everyone's boxed there. Even as an amateur, Usyk's boxed there. Like everyone's
it's
boxed
heritage.
there.
So seeing things like that, it must like give you a little buzz. Like just
it is good. It's always like because boxing for Repton is so local to Repton, ain't it? So it was weird for me. Darren Barker, when I told him I never boxed there, he couldn't believe it. He asked me about 5 times. Are you sure?
I thought you'd have boxed there.
Yeah, I know.
I was adamant you had.
Yeah, everyone boxed there. So it was just that to get it ticked off. So many great boxers, like you said, have boxed there, amateur and pro. So it was good to box there.
So Jim, what are we? February 2025 now. Let's say 3 years down the line, February 28. Where would you like to see your career as to where you are at that stage?
3 years time is a bit of a hard one. I'd say I'd like to be pushing for world titles, really, to be honest, if I'm there. I mean, I want to be at least European level within 3 years. I feel like the British sort of level, English level, sort of touching distance. I don't want to speak too soon, but I feel like 1-2 fights I could be at that level, the British level. I mean, the British level at the minute, middleweight division. I mean,
Bentley's. Yeah, well, he got it as he vacated it.
He has got it. He's vacated. He's got the European. I mean, there's some good fights. Nathan Heaney, Brad Pauls. So some good fights, domestic fights coming up for me in the next couple of years. So, but 3 years time, I'd like to be near enough pushing for world titles. Yeah, that's the goal.
Wish you the best of luck, mate.
Yeah, thank you, mate. I'm gonna need it.
No, it is good, and I think like you dedicate so long to it, and like. You need that kind of ambition to go and do that. So like seeing boys who have come from, I know we spoke about it earlier, but seeing boys who have come from that gym go on and do that must make you think that you are in the right place to give you the tools, and like Tony's give you the tools to go on and do that kind of thing.
Yeah, of course. I mean, look at Darren Barker. He was at Repton.
Tony from the start. Yeah, he was with Tony from the start.
Yeah, exactly. He was at Repton, and then he was with Tony Simmons from the start. I mean, if I can do something similar to his career, I mean, I'd be laughing. But I've got a long way to go yet. He's a very good fighter, so I can sort of like Tony always says, like sort of not compare our careers, but nine fights in now, and he was saying, Darren fought for a world title, world titles, similar path. So if I can do something similar to him, that'd be a dream. Yeah,
because I was a little kid. Tony and my dad had a gym together. Yeah. I remember being a little kid seeing. I was probably 5 or 6 going down the gym, and Darren was like.
Whereabouts was that gym?
That was.
Was it a rugby club?
Yes, near Woodford.
Right. Yeah.
It was a rugby club, and they had a bar upstairs, but they had the downstairs bit.
Yeah.
It wasn't Wanstead Rugby Club. It might be called Wanstead Rugby Club, but it was near Woodford.
Yeah.
But I remember being a little kid going down there. So my dad had East Stable with like Danny Williams, Takaloo.
Yeah.
Tony had Lee Purdy.
Yeah.
Do you remember Purdy?
Yeah.
He had Daniel Cadman, but Darren was coming through, and obviously he went on to go on to win a world title.
Yeah.
So this is one for probably both of you, because I know you've been in the corner as well, and you've obviously been in the ring. So like you said earlier, you can't hear nothing when you're in the ring, right? But sitting ringside watching you and watching sort of boxing on the telly, there's a lot of instructions that you see sort of coming. What is that like? Can you hear that? Can you take that on board? Like, or as Tom said earlier, do you hear certain voices?
I do. It's sort of just more of a background noise. I mean, at the O2 Indigo, it's sort of a different venue, so I could hear. See when you're looking at the ring, sort of hear. There's no one behind there, is there?
Yeah, it's one side.
Connor was sitting there. I could hear him and Tony obviously in my corner, so because it's all one side. But if there's all people behind them shouting, sort of like such a.
It's like white noise.
Yeah, sort of a white noise. Yeah, and where you're obviously so focused in the ring, sort of you're not really listening to, or you are listening to obviously your corner, but you're not trying to pick out what people are saying.
It's just like little nuggets,
little
key words.
But also, like from a corner perspective, you have to, because you're thinking, listen, everyone in the crowd, they're shouting, hit him. Yeah. Cheers, mate. Yeah. You have to, when you're in the corner, you have to understand, or like you'll be in there, and people will be going, tell him to do this, tell him to do that. But you know you've got a game plan and what
have you got buzzwords, like little buzzwords that you know, say you was in his corner, you know that Jimmy's going to know.
Yes.
So like you've done these things for 8 weeks, not even 8 weeks, like you've done it for however long, but in that 8-week camp for this exact fight, you've got little words that you know he's going to hear, or he might pick this out of all that noise. You're going to pick out that little nugget, that little buzzword, and you know what that means.
Yeah, I mean, everyone would be different, but like, say for example, if I'm holding the pads, I'll have certain combinations where I'd say a name like Leonard, for example.
I know Leonard.
Yeah, but like, so Bellotti actually dropped Gomez with that.
So that's something
the other week. So like when he's on the ropes, you'd shout something like that out. Whereas if you shouted out
so
left hook to the head, left hook to the body,
they know what's coming.
Yeah, to an extent, but also you will, but it's also they're in a fight ultimately. Like they might hear certain things, but it's very reactive as well, though. Do you know what I mean? Like he's not just gonna look for that.
Yeah, you can. I suppose you're in the moment. You're bang right in the middle, on top of the bloke. You're looking at it from a little wider perspective, so he might be able to see something that could unlock him, rather than that you can't see in that moment, like toe to toe with him. So it is interesting to see, and I think like it's like I've never been in that situation, so it's interesting to know how it works between kind of boxer and corner, or boxer trainer.
But that's obviously why they employ their trainer, because they trust.
It's a massive
their
trust
advice
thing.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And it helps that you was with him from such an early age.
Yeah.
Not early age, but early in your career.
Yeah.
Because he'll know you as a person though as well.
Yeah.
Because certain people, I know Jimmy, but I don't know him in that sense, like personally. Yeah. But certain people might respond well to like almost a slap around the ear roll and like thinking, where some people
arm
might. Every person's different. So that's understanding a person and a fighter.
What do you respond well to?
Slap around the face. Liven up. Yeah. No, you have that special bond with your coach where it's like you listen to him. You have to trust each other, obviously, because it's dangerous going in there boxing. You have to trust him, like the game plan. But I mean, I do have similar things with Tony. If he says a few different words or like combinations, I do know what he means, where other people might not. Yeah.
Are you doing extras as well? I know you are, but like for people who don't know, what kind of extras are you doing outside of that? So I know you mentioned Ricky earlier. Yeah. You're doing bits with him. What's that after? So you're training sort of twice in a day.
Yeah, I mean,
when you fit in that, or is he part of the gym?
S&C is quite big in boxing now. Would you agree? It's like
it's very different to
5-10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago, I'd say. Because I'm with the gal, back end of his career, he started doing it, but early on in his career, like we would do it within the gym, certain sessions, but it is very different. Or like nutritionists as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Like I speak to my dad. So when my dad was boxing, it was like late 80s, and they used to weigh in on the day. And he said, if I knew now what they know today, he said I would have been a different fighter. Because him making weight would be not like back and not eating and not drinking, because you think, well, putting more in my body's gonna. Whereas now you're talking, you water load. Yeah. So he'll be hydrated and then cut it late, and then his body will just
sports
drop
science,
all the
and it's come so way. So did you have a nutritionist as well?
Yeah, well, Ricky sort of he's like.
So he does everything basically.
Does everything, yeah. But even like when I started boxing in the gym down Newham, they'd say you weren't allowed to have no water. Yeah. Like before, if you're using the national.
And you have a sweat gear on.
Yeah. So I mean, looking at it, it's like you're taking all your energy out of yourself before you even get in a fight. But I mean, it's with everything now. Yeah, you learn from mistakes and everything. Like the sport sort of technology is getting better now. So
So when do you fit that in? So, like with Ricky and that, is
I
he going down the gym and doing it, or are you going away?
I go to his gym, which is in East Tilbury.
Where are you, Jim?
I'm Brentwood. I'm right in the Matchroom gym. Stafford Abbott. So it's like probably about 40-minute drive. But Wednesday and I only go there Wednesday and Saturdays. So yeah.
How do you feel? Like it's obvious because you want to go on and do what you want to do, but you make a lot of sacrifices for this, don't you? Is it like it's important to have, like, as you said, like your missus around or your family, like to have them understanding that you've got to make these sacrifices and you might not be able to go out for dinner, or Saturday you can't do this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it is hard to explain that to people. Some people, if you've never been or done sport, it's hard to say, like...
I think boxing is completely different to other sports.
I mean, like football, it's like after the game on Saturday, a lot of people will go and have a drink, like get drunk. But if I done that during the week or during a camp, like it could, like, it's a different dangerous sport. On the Monday, could you get knocked out because of that? But just trying to explain to people, like, oh, I can't go and eat out.
You have to make a lot of sacrifices.
Yeah, you have to make a lot, but people can't get their head around that. But for me, it's come because I've been boxing since I was 5. It just sort of like comes natural where
it's a lifestyle.
Your lifestyle. You're used to just missing stuff all the time, but you get used to it. I mean,
but if you wanna, if it was easy, everyone would do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
You have to make certain sacrifices in your life.
Yeah. The way I look at it is like I've got another 10, 15 years of doing this, probably max. And after that, I can go and do whatever I want. Do you know what I mean? Then I'm free to go and do whatever. So if I train hard these next 10 years, then I can go and do what I want. Yeah.
You ever thought about what you want to do after? I know it's so early. But like, is it coaching? Like, do you just want to stay in boxing? I know it's very early doors, but
I would like to do a bit of coaching. I'll go down to Repton Boxing Club sometimes.
I've seen that. That's good.
Help out a bit. Just be involved around the boxing is good. Do you know what I mean? I still want to be going down Repton. I mean, like, it's a different buzz, would you say, being like coaching someone, helping someone?
Yeah,
still get a good buzz out of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. It's completely different, like, or because you get a personal connection with the kid. Do you know what I mean? So you care for him. So before they're boxing, you're pumped and you're nervous and but obviously you've got a job to do. But yeah, of course.
Yeah, I still love to be involved with that buzz. But
my old man obviously said it's not the same, but he said it's the closest I've ever.
I suppose the closest you get to it.
Feel to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I would like to be still involved in boxing, but looking after, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Well, look,
one step at a time.
One last thing, when can we expect to see you out next?
I think May time. I think it's going to be at the Copper Box, I believe. So so hopefully May time. I'll let you know soon.
You have to let us know and we'll try and push out some tickets.
Yeah.
Let's try and get there.
Wish you the best of luck, Jim.
Thanks, boys.
No, cheers, Jim. Thank you, mate.
Cheers, mate.